guys, so I am driving hands-free, of course, and I'm not gonna look at y'all, but I'm gonna just, chit chat while I'm rolling. I have been going back and forth between how I want to share on YouTube, and I figure I just need to do something. I just need to do something to kind of like rip the band-aid off and just like get started, because if I keep thinking about it too much, I'm never gonna like do anything. But I know I want to post on YouTube, so here I am on the way to go pick up Jace. But before I go pick him up, I have to go to HEB to do a curbside pickup, and I was gonna get him first, but then I'm like, no, absolutely not, because that boy loves HEB. He loves HEB, and if I go to HEB and we don't get out, we're doing a curbside order, he gonna have a whole fit, and I don't have time for that. So I'm gonna go pick up the curbside order first, and then I'm gonna go get him. Yeah. But I just wanted to talk a little bit because this past weekend I hosted my mama's bag gathering. It was sponsored by a local table in Cyprus, and it was such a good time. I am still just thinking about how good of a time it was. Like, we ended up staying after the event was from 12:30 to 2:30, and like maybe a little less than half of us ended up staying until like 5 o'clock, because we just were not ready to go. Like, when I looked at the time and saw that it was like 2:15, and I usually do like a wrap up and close everything out so everybody can transition, I'm very timely. But when I looked at the time and saw that it was like 2:15, I said, I'm not ready to go. So I made the announcement and I wrapped everything up, but I told them like, hey, I'm not about to leave. Y'all can leave if you want to, but I'm not about to leave because I'm just enjoying myself and I'm not ready to go yet. And so some of the ladies did have to go, wanted to be respectful of their time. But for those who were able to stay a little bit later, we stayed a little bit later, and we just talked and laughed and ordered a couple more drinks for those of us who were partaking. And it was just a really good time. And it just reminded me of why, my lips, I gotta stop getting on camera with crusty lips. I just gotta stop getting on here with crusty lips. Let me put some lip gloss on. But yeah, it just reminded me of why this is so necessary, not just for myself, but like for women in general. And dang, it just turned green. What you want them to do? It just turned green. So like blowing their horn. I hate when people blow their horn at me. Like, it makes me want to just stay on my break and not go at all when people blow their horn. Anyway, but yeah, it's just so important and so necessary to have spaces that are just like easy and fun. Like, emphasis on fun, because like I feel like a lot of the times we're always thinking about improving ourselves, and there's a lot of avenues for like wellness and like self-improvement type spaces and things like that. But the mama's bag that's not the focus. The focus is just to come as you are and just like be as you are. And and I love that. And that's really important for me, because I'm always thinking of ways of like how to be a better version of myself, but I'm trying to lean into just being the version of myself, allow myself to just be the version of myself that exists today, and I've gotten a lot better at that, I think. Shout out to therapy. But yeah, the gathering was just so much fun, and it just reminds me of like how important it is to just show up and just be present and just be, just be yourself, And so yeah, I'm really looking forward to planning the next one for September. I'm getting those details together as we speak, but it's crazy that it was last September. I have a note in my phone that says like September 17th is when I bought the Mama's Bag domain name, and I think the day before, September 16th, is when I thought of the name and the concept and everything, and then I bought the domain, and I cannot believe it's coming up on a year. But that this past weekend was our 4th Mama's Bag gathering since last December was the first one. So like from September to December I was planning the first one, October, November. So it took me like 3 months to secure a venue and plan out all the details for like our holiday gathering, and it was the holiday time, like going into the holiday season. And so yeah, like I ended up hosting the first one December of 2025, and that was our holiday soiree, the very first gathering. And yeah, so this past weekend was our 4th one. So it was December, we had the first one, and then the next one was in May, this past May. And then I hosted one in July, and then I just hosted one in August. And so my goal is to host these semi-regularly. Monthly is what I would like to build up to. If not monthly, then at least every other month. But I'm just honestly going with the flow of what I have the capacity for right now, and just letting it unfold. I'm not putting any strict parameters around myself, because honestly, I don't know. You know, I don't know what the Mama's Bag wants to do, what it wants to grow into. I don't know yet what the set frequency will be. So I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to continue to allow myself to just let it evolve like it wants to, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing right now. And it's going really well. So I've gotten a lot of feedback. Thank you to those of you who have given me feedback, left reviews or of your experience. That goes a long way, because there's a lot of women who are inquiring, especially via threads. I've been talking about the Mama's Bag a lot on threads and getting a lot of interest, and so I love having experience, like y'all share y'all's experience for those who've come, so that I can have that on the site, so that they can, you know, hear from other women, not just me, about what the experience is like, especially because we're all different and we all have different takeaways. And so thank you for those of y'all who have shared that already, and it really means a lot. What else? I'm just kind of on here talking, y'all. I didn't really have like a set plan, just on here rambling at this point. But I just feel really thankful that God continues to give me inspiration and guidance on ways to support other women. I truly just love doing this kind of work. It just does something to me. It just does something to me. It makes me so happy. And recently, I didn't know if I was gonna share this, and I don't even know if I'm gonna share this. I might edit it out. I don't know. But recently I experienced an unexpected career transition with my full-time job. And so I'm currently open for work. And if you are connected with me on LinkedIn, you probably already know that. But it's not something I've been talking about on like the other social platforms, because I kind of feel like that's not really what those platforms are for. But I'm sharing it here because I just want to kind of like talk about how that shift, it's been almost a month, coming up on a month ago, how that shift has influenced me creatively. And it's actually been really surprising and unexpected. But this is the first time in my adult years. I've been working consistently since I was 18 years old. I've never had a period of not having formal employment, and this is the first time that I'm experiencing that. And honestly, actually, I think I'm gonna go to the UPS store real quick. Honestly, I am still processing what that feels like in my body because it's so new. But surprisingly, I feel this type of freedom and I feel this type of freedom and calm because I truly believe that God is going to work everything out for me. And I truly believe that as long as I keep moving my feet and doing what I'm called to do, that I'll always end up exactly where I'm supposed to end up every single time. So while this season has been challenging in its own ways and has produced feelings of uncertainty and like some fear for me, it's also produced this sense of freedom and faith and creativity and this untetheredness. It's like I'm experiencing this it's like for the first time in my life I'm experiencing what it feels like to be untethered from a job. And what being untethered from a job means for me as a person, and what that means for me as I move forward, it's really allowed me to just focus on my self-expression in a way that's not filtered through the lens of like watering myself down. And I was talking to my therapist last week and I told her, like, I feel like in a lot of ways in my adult years, in my professional career, I have shown up online specifically. In person, you're going to get, you know, the version of me that some of you know. But I feel like digitally, I've shown up as a 2% skim milk version of myself because the whole milk, full fat version has felt like too much in a lot of ways. And I'm getting to the point where I don't want to do that. You know, it's a complicated thing as a Black woman, especially a Black woman who's worked in corporate roles. But I'm 36 years old and I want to be the whole milk, full fat version of myself every day. And this past almost month of being the whole milk, full fat version of myself and not the skim milk version of myself has felt really like nourishing to my soul. And getting to focus on the mama's bag and just creating space for other people and serving instead of focusing on what's not going right or what's not going ideally in my life right now. Getting to like focus on creating and not like wallowing in circumstances that are out of my control at the moment has been really good for me. So I don't know, I didn't really plan on sharing that. I just pressed record and that's what came up, and I guess maybe that's what I have wanted to say for weeks, but just didn't want to say it like on Instagram or, you know, on that platform. But maybe this is where I wanted to share it, and maybe this is where I have these kind of discussions. Maybe this is like, I don't know, let's see. But something has just continued to call me to post on YouTube. I've been seeing a lot of feedback around like different platforms, and I hope y'all can hear me good. I don't have my mic plugged in. I hope this was all not for nothing and that y'all can hear me good. But I just want to say before I wrap this up and go have some packages to return before I do the grocery pickup. But I just want to say, like, if you're in a season of unexpected change in your life, I really encourage you to allow yourself to process that. But at the same time, lean into something that brings you joy. Lean into something that brings you peace. Lean into something that makes you feel like you and whole. Because that's what the mama's bag has been for me. And I'm just going to continue to lean into that while also looking for, you know, my next full-time situation. But I'm so happy that I have somewhere that I get to pour into, and that also gets to pour into me at the same time, and that I was already doing that before I found myself in this season. So when I landed here, I still had momentum to just keep moving my feet. So if you're in a season where things are a little uncertain, just keep moving your feet. And eventually God is going to take you where you're supposed to go. And that's all I got to say. So I'll talk to y'all later. I guess I'm going to just post this. And yeah. All right. That's it. Bye.